Hi guys, Dustin Van Fleet of Dustin Van Fleet Design here today down in South Georgia, Valdosta, Georgia. We're coming to you today and we're showing you that there is a use for tree frog green. I've been wanting to use this color for the past 4+ years and I've just never found the right thing to do with it. But today we found this piece of yard art, and guess what? Mr. Froggy is getting painted tree frog green. So I'm showing you today that you can use Dixie Belle crafty or for really elegant upscale furniture, and I'm just showing you how simple it is. We've cleaned off any of the excess on here. I want a lot of that rust for that patina look and for a real textured look, and I'm not going to paint this back and forth. I'm going to kind of pounce it so that he gets a real textured look all over. So hang with me and we're going to begin, and we're just going to show you how simple this is. The cleanup took literally probably about under 30 seconds. But notice how we're pouncing him. We're not really brushing him. If you try to brush something like this, you're gonna be here forever because it's just not gonna happen the way that you want it to. We don't want him to be perfect. That is not the point of doing this to him. We want him to be really rustic and cool. So we're gonna get an initial, just kind of like smattering on here, just like you would a piece of furniture. Not really a thick coat initially, especially on these slick rocks on his back, because we want it to dry pretty quickly and we want to be able to go over it again in a timely fashion. So we're just covering everything up here just to give it almost like that primer smattering that we want. Some of the areas are a little bit more corroded than others, so you might have to put a little bit more on there. Again, we're not worried about getting them perfect in any way, shape, or form. So we see it's got an open body with crosswork and everything. We're not going to be able to get that perfectly. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go over him and get the majority of him to be tree frog green. I've done a little bit of him already, like his mouth and things of that nature, so that you guys wouldn't have to watch the gory details of that. But what I'm gonna do is try to get as much of these little areas as I can with this first coat, because basically what we're doing is we're primering him for his second coat, which also won't be too thick, but another decent generous coat and he'll be ready to go. So we're gonna get as much as we can like this right now, and we've let one side of him dry already, so we'll be able to pick him up from the other side that's already had time to dry. That's why I pre-plan these things for you guys, so that you don't have to sit here and watch every tiny little detail, because you want to know what you can do with this stuff, not watch me for 30 minutes paint a frog. Also, you want to make sure that you use, on this type project, an inexpensive chip brush. You want to use something that costs like about $1 or something of that nature. You do not want to use your nice painting brush on him. He's all rusty and crusty. Does not matter how you get it on here. Dixie Belle is self-leveling, so it doesn't really matter how you get it on here. All that matters is that you get it on. We want to leave some of the rust showing for him. Makes him look kind of cool and old, but he just kind of looked sad and decrepit before. He just wasn't a pretty tree frog until we found the tree frog green for him. And it's been sitting inside for about 3 years, tree frog green, because I'm going to do something with it. And I never found the right project until now to do something with it. I don't think you could get much more perfect than a tree frog. Oops. I guess that was one of the toad's little bumps right there. But we'll glue him back on, not a big deal. That's kind of like what happens when you find something out in the yard and ask somebody if you can have it. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. You kind of know that you're not getting the top-notch, superior, expensive quality of something brand new. So if all we have to do to him is super glue one of his bumps, we're in good shape. So we're coming down here. We're just gonna get the tops of these. We know we can't get inside because we can't get in the cage. But we also know that we can get as much of him green as possible so that he looks like a real frog. Yeah, you can always tell when I'm concentrating real hard, guys, because then I stop talking, and anybody who knows me knows that I like never stop talking. So you can tell whenever I'm deep in thought, because the conversation will have a lag for a second. So we'll pick this one up. That fell off here. We'll put that one back on just for right now until we can glue it back on. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of pounce the next coat on. We've had enough time for it to barely set up. In just this short amount of time, you can see how it's taking the second coat because we put the first coat on so thin that it wouldn't be an issue. We're not painting, we're pouncing. We're kind of doing the same thing as if you were stenciling. You go up and down and you pounce the project. Because if you try to paint him, like I said before, it's just gonna end up a hot mess and you're not gonna be really happy with your results. He's not meant to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination. He's meant to be whimsical and cool. And I'm just giving you guys different methods because a lot of people are coming on my page and they're saying, hey, can it be used for this or this or this? And it can. It's just, we get shown a lot of furniture, but it can be used with your kids for crafting, for fun stuff like this. When you do use a brush like this, a cheap chip brush, the difference that you're gonna see in between the awesome new Dixie Belle synthetic brushes, which give you a perfect finish, is it's not gonna give you a perfect finish. It's gonna give you a very textury type finish. It's gonna drop some of the bristles off of it. That's okay because something like this, we can handle that. It's not a big deal. And let's see if we can get this part of him. And that's Bandit in the background. He also is co-starring today. So when you hear him barking, it means that a little 15-pound Shih Tzu is on the loose and he's our attack dog over here. He thinks he's like a Rottweiler or a pit bull or something, but where is Bandit? Bandit. Let's put you on here real quick. This is Bandit. He will periodically be coming on with, he'll periodically be barking, he'll periodically just be acting like Bandit. What he does best is sit in his own personal chair because we have to provide him with a human chair, as he doesn't do like other dogs and sit on the ground. He wants his own chair. So we've got him well on his way. And we're just gonna keep pouncing until we get that perfect textured look, and you can just keep adding until you get that look that you want, because I don't want him to be smooth and I don't want him to look perfect in any way, shape, or form. That's not what I'm looking for. That's gonna be the death of me, this little wart on him that just keeps falling off. Okay, so we got him here. what happens with Dixie Belle when you pounce it a lot of times is you almost get like a hammered finish. It is self-leveling and it's not going to come out like really textured, but it will come out more textured than if you just painted a flat or smooth piece. So we're just getting around the edges, making them as cool as we can. And again, what we used on him today is an 8 ounce of Dixie Belle's Tree Frog Green. This retails for anywhere in between $9.95 and $9.99 at most of the stores that you go to. So the piece, the frog, was free. Tree Frog Green, $9.99. We're gonna use some hammered copper gilding wax by Dixie Belle. At my store, it retails for $13.99. I believe at other stores it can be $13.50 or something of that nature. So we're just gonna come back on some of these warts that he's got here and give them some flavor. I watched a video recently by Kristana of Bella Renovare, and she was so correct, and people don't think when you're choosing your color that you're going to use for your gilder's paste, make sure that it coincides with the color that is underneath it. If it doesn't, you're not going to get much of an effect. So in other words, on this guy, we don't necessarily want to use this green and then come back and use the green gilder's wax on them. You're just not going to get a killer effect on it at all. You're going to get a very mild effect at most. He's missing a couple of its little warts right here, but nothing that would make me say no to taking him. So we've got these, and I'm gonna do half of him like this just so that you can see. I'll do the other half on my own, and then we'll move on to where we're going to embellish him some more. So he's not just gonna be Tree Frog Green. He's gonna be Tree Frog Green with some gold eyes, or gold, I should say, copper eyes. I'll get in there afterwards and really work that around. I think he needs some around his body, some on his legs. No rhyme or reason, just highlighting him and making him look cool is what I'm trying to do. Making him look different. And again, these are great projects that you can do in a class with one of our retailers, stuff like this. This is great if you have children. It's awesome to get them out here and get them involved in the art. They can use this. It's all water cleanup, so there's nothing that's gonna hurt anything here. And then we'll just come back over here and make sure we get this side as well. And like I said, we're gonna do the whole thing on one of the sides. And then we're not gonna kill you by making you watch the whole thing on the other. I know you guys have lives and things to do. So we're gonna highlight his eyeballs. They look super cool. We're gonna go around his mouth. Awesome. And you get the drift off of that. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today and watching this really cool crafting exercise of things that you can find laying around your house that you can make super cool. I'm going to finish this guy up, and I'll take some final pictures of him for you to post on my page. This is going to be on my YouTube page, Dustin Van Fleet Design. This will be on my Dustin Van Fleet Design Instagram page and my Dustin Van Fleet Design Facebook page. Until the next time, I'll see you on the flip side.